Welcome everyone. Welcome to the new educational video. If you guys are new to this channel, I will highly recommend you guys to subscribe to this channel because we normally do a lot of education videos in this channel. And today we'll be doing a CGP non-verbal paper, but I will not be sharing the paper with you guys due to the copyrights, but I'll be putting the links for you all to buy the paper from Amazon or from CGP website. So I'll start sharing my screen now and I'll tell you step by step mock test is for nonverbal. So let's get started now. I hope you all be able to see it. I'll do a little big for you all. Hope you all can see the paper. So let's get started. The first section in this paper is normally tells you to do about the codes. So you have to find the code for for the shape. So if you look at this one here, let's get started with section 1. In this, you have to find what the code is for this shape here. So if I look at this shape here, this one has like this, and so I know that this one has G. Is G has a straight line, so it cannot be G cannot be the first letter. So the first letter would be a H. So the first letter is H. So just cancel all the G's for you all. Second thing, we have to look at the stars. How many lines does the star have? If you look at Q, Q basically has 6 points. How many points? Basically, 6 points. So we don't need 6 points. You need to count how many points are here. There are five here. So again, Q is gone. So the only option which is left is a P. So your answer for number one is P. So let's look at the second one. In the second one, we are looking at the lines. Same, it has lines here. So we know that the first letter of this shape will be a S. So try cancelling the one which don't have a S. And second thing, what we need to look is it doesn't have a circle. So the circle is K. So cancel the one which has a K in it. So your answer would be SL, will be the second one. So let's go on the third one now. In the third one, again, we have to look at the shape, what's happening. So if you look at the shape in the third one, what we have, if you look at the shape, the third one, the shape has doesn't have any circle on the top. So any circle on the top could be a, I know the first letter is a K because it doesn't have on the top. Look at this one. So is K. So all the other ones, just cancel the other ones. And now we have to think about its Q or is R. So if you look at the Q has a circle on this side, same as this shape here, and R has on the other side, but we are looking at circle on this side. So most probably it is not probably, but I think so. The answer, yeah, I'm right. The answer for number three, it's what are we looking at this one? The answer for number three is A, because as I told you, we are looking at the circle on this side. R has a circle on this side, but we need a circle on this side. So is A. It's KQ. So let's look at number 4 now. So in number 4, what are we looking at? In number 4, we are looking at uh, the shape which is shaded in dark. So basically, and also you're looking at the arrows. So what do you think the first one would be? We are looking at the arrows which go down in the middle. So if you look at this one, the arrow need to go on the down in the middle. It has, so we know that the first letter would be a J. So if the first letter is J, cancel all the other ones which don't have J in them. J is because we are looking at the arrow going this way. Can you see it? Sorry, this way. Arrow in the middle. That's why it's J. Now we need to look at is S or R. R is the one which has shaded shape. Everything is shaded, same like the shape. So the answer for this one would be JR. So let's look at number 5. In number 5, what are we looking at? In number 5, we are looking at the shape which has something a circle. All the shapes have a circle. We know the shape has a circle. Can you look at the outside shape has a circle? So the one which don't have a circle, so you can, it has a circle. This one doesn't have a circle. So I know that first thing is the circle of that. And if you look at the inside shape, if I look at an inside shape, it's going this way, and this one is going this way. So what do you think could it be? So we are looking at the strike points, the one they are striking points. If you look at the points, they all are striking points, and the points which are striking on the other side is like this. All the points which are striking like this one, this direction of striking points is a G. So you know that the first letter, we are not looking at the circle in this, because first you have to think about the things it will do. It a circle. So if you look at the circle, somebody would say like, oh no, it should be a circle. We are not looking at the circle in this one. You have to look at the inside shape. So if I look at in the inside shape, I need to look at the direction with the inside shape has. So this shape goes this side. The direction of inside shape is this side here. This inside direction is this side, and this one is this side. So this shape has a direction this side. Can you see it? So we know that the first letter of this shape is a G. And the next thing what I need to look at is it's M or N. What one could it be? So if you look at the outside shape of a N, needs to be a circle. My outside shape is a circle. What I was telling you guys before, that outside shape needs to be a circle. So if you look at M, the outside shape is not a circle. Only N, the outside shape is a circle. So your answer would this one would be a N. So let's look at number 6 now. In number 6, again we have to look at what's happening to the shapes. So if you look at the shape, the if I look at my shape is a hexagon. So which of the shapes have a hexagon? Only Q is the one which has a hexagon. So I know that my first letter would be a Q. So I'll cancel all the other one. Now we have to look at the down one. If you look at the down one, my shape is, it's something going like this way here. Can you see it going on the this direction? So shape going this direction. I'm just thinking what it could be. My triangle should point the left side. So which one has a triangle pointed to the left side? If you look at the shapes, it's only pointed in the left side is in a W. Look here. So my answer is QW for this one. So let's move on to the next one. In the next one, again, you have to think what the shape is in number 7. In number 7, I'm going to look at, see the shape has something like this, lines going here and lines going there. So what do you think it could be? So I think so. My first one would be a P because it has two triangles which has pointed down. Can you see it? This triangle and this triangle here, they're pointing down. So it's a P. So I need to cancel the ones which are not a P. And the next thing what I need to note in my shape is the dots. If you look at the dots, the dot in the right hand triangle. So if you look at the dots, it has in the right hand triangle. So I need to find the shape which has a dot in the right hand triangle. And that shape is a G. So that's why my answer is A. It's PG. So let's go number 8. This one is something really confusing. Everybody gets really confused in this one. In this one, again, we have to see what it is. If you look at the top ones, if you look at the top one, what's happening in the top one? So if I look at what is W, W is, because I have two W's here, W is a horizontal hatching. If you look at W, this horizontally they are hatching with each other, so it cannot be W, I know that. And X is the one which is crossing like that, and this shape is something like this here. So what is V? V is hatching diagonally down to the left. So they're going to the left. If you look at that, same like this one. So I know my first one would be a V. So let's cancel the one which don't have a V. Now I'm looking at the down ones. It's T or S. So what is T? T is a black triangle. Is a black triangle in front of the white triangle. If you look at T, T has one thing common. It has a black triangle. T has a black triangle in front of the white triangle. So it cannot be T. So the only option which I'm left with is a S. And what is a S? S is the white triangle in front of the black triangle. If you look at there's a white triangle in front of a black one. So it is definitely VS. It cannot be VT. Now let's go to number 9. What's happening in number 9? In number 9, you have to look at the shapes again and see what's happening with them. So I know that one thing I need to make sure is four lines like this. You have four with different and two circles in that which is not shaded. Can you look at here? All the shapes have something or the other. In this one, two circles are not shaded and two of the sides are shaded, same like this one. So I know that first letter of this shape is a D. So I'll cancel all the other one. Now I have to look at the bottom letters. It's N, M, or N. Let's look at N first. What's N doing? N is the line crosses the edges. If you look at the lines, they are crossing the edges. It cannot be N. What is a it cannot be N because we have also crossed N. So we're looking at M or L. If I look at M or L, I need, what do I need? If you look at what's common between L, if you look at L, the line is crossing. We'll look at these circles here. It has a line crossing here and it has zigzag, zigzag like this lines here on the top. Lines on the top crossing here. I think so. Let me just double check the answer. I definitely think it's DL. Yes, I'm right. It's DL. Let's go to number 10. In number 10, again, we have to see what's happening to the shape, what we have to find. In number 10, we look at G and K, we look at that. If you look at the shape like that, what's happening in, if you look at J, J has really, it has large four-sided shape. It's four-sided shape. If you count the sides, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And J also has 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that my first one would be a J. Just cancel all the K's in this. And next, you have to think between S and D. If I look at S, S and D. If I look at D and S, S has the same shape inside 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has one shape less on that. Black four pointed stars. So if you look at the pointed stars, it needs to have a star and they need to be pointing, same as the shape here. So most probably, if you look at, and another one is D. So why it cannot be D if somebody of you will ask? Because D has a black circle inside. Can you see it? And this shape doesn't have a black circle inside. So it's A. Number 11 now. In number 11, what are they asking you now in number 11? In number 11, we need to look between B and D. And what's happening? This shape has a circle type of thing. And we are looking at the circle and the arrow. What's arrow? The arrow is pointing clockwise. Can you see the arrow? In this one and this one, the arrow is pointing clockwise. And in B, what is happening? In B, the arrow is clockwise. In D, arrow points anti-clockwise. So in B, the arrow is pointing clockwise, and D, the arrow is doing anti-clockwise. So what do you think we need in this one? In this one, the arrow is pointing anti-clockwise. So if the arrow is pointing anti-clockwise, it I'll write it down here for you guys. In this, B was clockwise and D is anti-clockwise. So we know that this is anti-clockwise, so it'll be D. So cancel all the one which has a B in it. And next thing is between W, V, and D. V is, if I look at this one here, it's going, and look at the arrow, what's happening here. It's V or T now. We have to look, it cannot be W because it doesn't have a W here. So cancel the W here. And next, I have to look between V and T. If I look at V, the arrow is on this side, and I need the arrow which is anti-clockwise going this side here. So that's why it will be a E. Now, last one in this section is, let's try doing the last one in this section. They're asking you how to do it. In this one, you have to see what's happening to the shape again. And if I look at F and J is, I know it cannot be J because it's, I need a circle on the top. Can you see it? F has this. And what do I need? I need a circle which is not shaded like this. If I look at this one, can you see it? Here and here also. Can you see it? What's happening in F? Sometimes you have to do it really, you just do it, you come to know really soon what the shape is. So I know the top one is a F. Now I need to look at between S and D. S has one, two, I need four stars. Can you see it? One, two, three, four. And what's happening here? In this, I'm looking at, now you have to look at the stars outside. It's one, two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one thing I have seen in here, one star is not shaded, and another one is shaded. So I have to look at this one here. And I think so. And one side has, see, look at here. Can you see it here? Two stars which have not done anything, it's not shaded anything. So same here. So it is definitely FS number 12. So we are done with this section. Now we are doing section 2. In section 2, you just need to do odd one out. Most like the most, find out five figures is most like the two other shapes. Find which of the five figures on the left is most like the two other shapes on the left. So this is the first shape given to you guys. What do you think it is? If you look at this shape here, the answer for one definitely would be a E. It's same like this shape here. You need to find which is same like this one. And the reason for that is all the shapes must be a triangle. And in number 2, we are looking at the lines. All the shapes, all the figures, the number horizontal must be the same at the number of sides of the shape. So if you look at the line, should be same with the shape you mark. So what do you think it is? For number A, its number 2 will be A. So let's go number 3. In number 3, all the shapes must have a small triangle inside them. Can you see it? And the triangle should be a white color. For number 3, it'll be a C. And the triangle should be on the side like this. For number 4, you need to look at the shape must have a small shape overlapping in the edge of the last shape. So it should be overlapping. It should be, can you see them? They're overlapping. So which one of them you think is more overlapping in that? It's B. So let's go on number 5 now. In number 5, what are we looking at? In number 5, you all the shapes must have a shape with a dot at every corner and a dot in the center. So there should be a dot in the center and dot in all the corners. Can you see in these shapes? All the corners have a circle type of thing. So what do you think could be for number 5? It's B. Now number 6, all the shapes must have a two small black shapes overlapping the edge of a large white shape. They are overlapping. They are overlapping. They must have two small black shapes overlapping the edge of the large white shape. And one of the black shapes must be a semicircle. They also have a semicircle. Can you see it? So, definitely the answer for number 6 would be a D. Let's go on to number 7. In number 7, all the figures must have a last shape hatched horizontally down to the left. So they should always horizontally down to the left. And the answer for this one definitely will be a C. Another thing I could see in that is if you look at it has a pattern, the shapes have a pattern in them going on. Number 8 now, all the figures two lines exactly two lines or arrows must be behind the shape. If you look at the arrows, they should be behind the shape. So which one do you think it is? So definitely it will be a A. Number 9 now. In number 9, all the shapes there must be a small white star. So all the shapes have a small white star. Can you see it? So the answer for number 9 would be a E. Number 10 now. In number 10, we are looking at the circles and the shape. In number 9, all the figures, there must be a small white star and the number of crosses must be same as the number of white shapes. Not including the star, the small star must be overlapping the group in white shape. So they should be overlapping. for number 9. So that's why it's E for number 9. So let's move on to number 10 now. In number 10, what do you think? We are looking at the circles in number 10. So all the shapes, all the figures, the number of black arrows. We are looking at these arrows now, the black arrows. All the black arrows must be pointing right, must equal to the number of white points, white dots. So if you have white dots, you have one, two, three, the arrows would be three. If you have white dots, you have two, the arrow should be. Can you see it? All the figures, and if you look at C, it's one, two, three, four. It's one, two, three, four, five. And we are looking at the arrows. We are not looking at the arrows. It's one, two, three, four, and there should be one more. Black arrows to the ear should be equal, must be equal to that. The number of black arrows pointing left must equal to the number of gray ones. The total number of black arrows must equal to the total number of dots and the number of sides of the last shape. So how many sides are there? Your How many sides are there? Your arrow should be equal to that. So answer for number 10 is C. Number 11 now. In number 11, all the shapes must have a dotted line. If you look at the line, the dotted line is crossing the shape like that. Can you see it? This is the dotting line here and a dotting line here. And the next one would be we need a dotting line, and that would be a C. See here, dotting line. And the last one here is number 12. In this, all the shapes must have the same number of dots as white shapes. The white shapes must be same but different sizes. Each shape must have a dot at the center of one of its sides, going to the larger shape to the smallest. So that's why the answer of number 12 would be a E. Now we have the odd one out in this. So what do you think the odd one out would be for this one? If you look at the arrows in all the shapes, in all the figures, the arrow points at the straight side of the last shape. If you look at the arrows, it's pointing out at shape. So one of them is not pointing out, and that is D. All of them are pointing out. Can you see it? They're pointing to the shape, pointing to the shape, pointing, pointing. Number 2 now, all the shapes, all the other shapes are symmetry around the dotted line. So they are symmetry at the dotted line, except one of them. See, symmetry, 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 except this one is E. Number 3 now, all the other shapes should have two dots overlapping to the sides of the last shape. They should have two dots and should be overlapping. If you look at the two dots, should be overlapping. So one of them is not overlapping. That's number E. Number 4 now. In all the other shapes, the arrow points the same direction at the hatching of the circle. If you look at the circle, the shapes are on the same side except one of them, and that's A. If you look at this one, same this one, and this one, and this one, all of them are like that. Number 5 now. In number 5, in all the figures, the small shape are in the same order. So look at the same order. The same order is going on of the shapes except in one of them. You have a cross, star, circle, and this raindrop. Cross, this and this. See, same except one of them. If you look at this one, it's going like this. This is also going like this. Only one doesn't have D. See? After a cross, there should be a circle, and this one doesn't have a circle. So now we are on number 6. In number 6, they are saying all the other shapes should cross-hatch shapes overlap the black shape and hatch shape to do it. So they should be overlapping. They should cross-hatch each other. They are crossing each other. Can you see it? Cross, cross. And the head shape do not. Hatch shape do not. So basically, it has a black, and this, it could be, if I look at that, it could be from B or E, any one of them, because all of them are doing what they're asking except this one, B and E. If then you look closely, and if you look at what's happening in all of them, which one do you think is more closest? I think so, it could be a B. Yeah, it's B. Number 7 now. In number 7, they are looking that all other shapes contain 4 lines. If you look at the lines of the shapes, all of them have 4 lines except one of them. So which one of them has? If you look at this one, this has 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 line. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four, five. It's E. Let's go to number 8 now. In number 8, they are saying all the other shapes, the number of arrows is one less than the number of sides of the last shape. So if you look at the last shape, how many are they have? It's one, two, three, four, five, six. One, two, three, four. This one has four. One, two, three, four. Arrow should be three. It has three. One, two, three. Arrow should be two. It has two. One, two, three, four. Arrow should be three. It has three. One, two, three, four, five. Arrow should be four. It has four. So my answer would be a A. Number 9 now. In number 9, they are telling you in all the shapes, the shading of the small shape is overlap. If you look at the shading of it's overlapping each other. And after overlap the two large shapes in the same as a shading of the small shape that's outside both of the large shapes. So that's why the answer for this one is C. Number 10 now. In number 10, what's happening? If you look at number 10, in number 10, they are looking at the stars and all these things, what's happening in that. In number 10, all the other shapes, the number of crosses is the same as the number of lines needed to complete the last shape. So if you need to complete the shape, your dots are the same. The crosses are the same. If I need to cross it like this, it needs 1 and 2. So it'll be 2 here. To cross this, you need 2. It's 2 here. So all of them have the same thing, what they're asking you to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine. That's fine. Only E is the one which is different. Number 11 is ignoring circles and lines. All other shapes are rotation of each other. They are the rotations of each other. So one of the shapes which is not the rotation of each other, if I look at this one, is the rotation of this one here. And this one is the rotation of this one here. So one shape is not the rotation of them, it's D. Number 12 now. In number 12, we are looking at the shapes and then And they're saying all other shapes, all other figures, the circles, lines, and dots are in the rotation of each other. Again, the same thing is happening in this one, except one of them, and that's P. So we are on section 4 now. You have to complete the grid. So let's do it. If you look at this, small and big, so we need the bigger shape of this one. So what's the bigger shape? And the inside circle becomes big and becomes dotted. So it'll be B for this one. Number 2, working from left to right, the lines move from outside to inside the large shapes without rotating. The whole figure rotates. So here, if you look at this shape, it's rotating 45 degrees. It's rotating 45 degrees. So this shape also has to be in the same way like this one, and it should rotate how much? 45 degrees. So the answer for this one would be B. So look at number 3 now. In number 3, what's happening to the shapes? This goes up and this goes down. So this will go up and this one will go down. So what's they're rotating anti-clockwise. So if they're rotating anti-clockwise, the answer for this one would be a E. And this shape becomes shaded, remember? So we need a shaded one here. So when you do something like this, you can just cancel the one like that and keep going. For in number 4, what's happening? Look at the arrows in number 4. Along the row, the last shape stays the same. Each small shape, 4-pointed star, 5-pointed star, or square must appear only one in each column. So each of them should appear in each column. Every column has same thing. So what do you think it could be? It's B. So each shape has different things. Can you see it here? And the sizes also in them. So let's do number 5. In number 5, what's happening? Along the row, the inner and the outer shape stay the same. Working from left to right, the shading of the inner shape moves to the outer shape. A new shading appears in the shape. So a new shading comes in the. So if you're looking at that, it will be a A. So let's go number 6. In number 6, we are looking at the lines. It has 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2. We know the top one would be a 3. So you need something which is 3 in this. So cancel the one which is not 3. And what are happening to the lines here? Look at this one. It's moving. This is also moving. I'm looking at the shaded one here. Here, this is also moving up. Here, here. So it needs to be down and will be a C. So your 6 is a C. So look at number 7 now. In number 7, each row has again 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Whatever sides you have, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Each row only contains one type of shape. So each one of have one type of shape. That could be a square, triangle, or a hexagon. Working from left to right, the number of shapes increases by 1. So if you look at this, this is 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So next one I need is a 3. And it needs to go something like this. So that's why it will be a D. So let's look at number 8 now. So what's happening in number 8? In number 8, what are we looking at? Each column must contain a black shape, a without shaded shade, and this shade here. So what shade are we looking at? The one which is not shaded, right? So cancel the one which is shaded in this. And it needs to have what? It needs to have, so each column should black shape, white shape, and a head shape. Head shape means like this one. So this one is gone, and it should be the same shape like this one. So the same shape like this one would be a B. Number 9 now. So what's happening in number 9? Again the same thing, working from left to right, the shape in the first two grid square including the head and combine to the shape in the third grid square. So the answer, if you look at this one, if you look at this one, what's happening in them? It's like this. And then what do you think could be the next one? Working from left to right, the shapes, the first two grid squares, including the hedging, are combined to make the shape in the third one. So the shape should be something similar to the one here, this or this one here. Can you see it? So I know that if I look at this here, what the shape could be. It should be E. So let's do number 10 now. In number 10, what is happening in number 10? Working from left to right, the last shape rotates 90 degrees. The shapes are rotating now. This, if you look at this one here, goes here, becomes little big, little small. So we have different type of things are going on in them. And the top half then disappears, working from top to bottom. The small square rotates 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So square on the top, that's rotating anti-clockwise. So if you're looking at something anti-clockwise, always remember how it happens. And the shape also, it has a big shape, then one part of the shapes come here, and the second part of the shape comes on this, becomes more smaller. So we need a big shape of this one here. So the answer for this one is a A. So number 11 now. In number 11, what's happening? You need to complete this shape. So to complete the shape, if you need to do it, it'll be a C. And number 12 is in each row, each column, there must be a last shape with 5 sides. So each of the shape has 5 sides in it. So you need to calculate which one of them have that one, and that would be a C. Another thing what's happening here, look at this. 2, 4, 2. So this and this has same dots on down. So I need 1. So the one which has 3, you can cancel that on its own because you need 1. This is also gone. This is also gone. In this way, you can come to know it's between A and C. In number 5, you have to complete the pair. So you need to complete the pair. See which shape it's made. So you have one on the top. This shape goes here, becomes a big circle, shaded, and becomes non-shaded. So we need a shape, a bigger shape of this, which goes inside. So this one will be here, and this will be here. So if you look at this, it's understood that it would be a C. Same thing in number 2, you need to complete the same thing is going to happen here. So that's why the answer would be a B because you need something similar to this one. The top shapes moves to the bottom. So this one is moving to the bottom. If you look at this one, this was on the top. This comes in the bottom here. Number 3 now. In number 3, what's happening in number 3? The black white shape loses a side and the number of black circles increases by 1. So the black circle is increased by 1. So that's why your answer is a, because it's 2. You know that you need 3. So in this, you can just cancel the 1, which are not 3. So it could be between these two. And this shape is something like that. The shape is like that. So it cannot be this one, cannot be this one. So it's this one. In number 4, what's happening in number 4? Again, this one becomes here, comes here, and this 2 comes here, and one gets, you have a new shape then. The bottom of the shape disappears, the bottom shape moves and moves down, the top left. So all the shapes are moving up and left and right. So that's why it's a E. So in number 5, the last shape turns on its sides. If you see, this shape is like this, then the shape turns this way. This shape is like this, it'll turn this way. So it cannot be B. And when they turn this way, the star will become dark. So the star will become dark. Star, dark. This cannot be this one. And it has 2 stars, remember? And has 2 of this, 2 this, 2 this, 2 this. So it could be between this, and then when it turns this way, the small shapes move anti-clockwise to the top and the bottom, and the shapes are also moving up and down and become small. Number 6 now. Number 6, the last shape shading with the top left circle, the 2 other shapes, circles, and the whole figure apart from the hatching reflects across. So that's why it's E. In number 7, what's happening in number 7? In number 7, if you look at the shapes, this is dotted, dotted, dotted. So this shape will become dotted, dotted, dotted. So one which are not dotted, cancel that one because we need the shape to be dotted. And then the outer big shape switches from solid to dash. The inner shape shrinks and is reflected downwards. So the shape as also need to shrink. And also the inner shape needs to shrink and the outside also. If this one comes down and this goes up. And then this will become shaded, this will become non-shaded. So that's why it will be D. And number 8, if you look at number 8, what's happening? The arrows switch to the opposite ends of the lines and the shape moves round one position anti-clockwise. So it's moving anti-clockwise. Is you always have to remember about clockwise, anti-clockwise, things like that when you're looking at that. That's why it would be a B. Number 9 now. In number 9, the big shape loses one side. So this shape, if you look at this one, it loses one side here. It loses one of its sides here. And the arrow changes from going through the corner of the shapes, going through the middle of the shape sides. So that's why it would be a E. In number 10, the whole of this it's rotating. So its rotation is going on in this one. The whole figure rotates 90 degrees clockwise, and the 2 middle side shapes move behind the last shape. So they are moving behind the last shape. So what do you think it could be? You have to observe it really carefully, and then you will know the answer is B. Now it's number 11. In number 11, the number of small circles on the left hand side Side becomes the number of sides of the new last shape. The shading of the circles becomes the shading of the last shapes. So this goes, look at this one goes inside and this becomes small. So another thing you can look for is things like that. So that's why the answer would be a C. Whatever you have, look at this one. It has shaded. So this one will be a dark shaded. This is light shaded. So inside is a light shaded. And this shape becomes small and becomes inside. And this shape becomes a shape which is getting all the things inside. So number 12 now. In number 12, the shades on the right hand side move up to the direction to the right hand side, move down on the position. The shading stayed the same. So the shading is the same in this one. So you have to look really, really carefully what's happening. This goes here and one of it moves places. This goes here, this becomes more down. So it's B. Now we are on the last section. In this, you have to complete the grid. Complete the series, sorry. So if you look at this one, what will be here? They are moving. If you look at that, they are moving 90 degrees. In each series, square, the triangle rotates 90 degrees anti-clockwise and the square is rotating 45 degrees. So if you look at that, the next one would be a B because it's, and you are looking for this shape, remember. You can also try doing it this way. So you know that the shape would be a, and when there's rotating, because they're saying 90 degrees, so it'll be this one here. So in number 2, what's happening? The shading of the black circle shifts one position to the right with series of square. So what do you think it could be? It's D. And this also comes, can you see it? This is the circle is also coming. The circle comes here, then it goes here, then here, and you know that the circle would be in the middle. So this, which one doesn't have circle in the middle, you can cancel that one first, and then you have to look at the arrows. The arrows are also moving. This arrow comes here, then here, then here, then the next would be here. So let's do number 3 now. In number 3, each of the series, the square, the number of sides of the last shape increases by 1. If you look at that, it increases by 1 in B. So that's why your answer would be A. Look at in number 4, what's happening? Again, rotation is happening. Can you see it? So all of them are rotating 90 degrees. You know, 90 degrees rotation is something like that if you guys don't know. So all the shapes, this shape is rotating 90 degrees here, here. So the next thing what the shape would go here would be on the down because rotation it'll be here. So it'll be E. In number 5, each of the series square, the entire shapes again is rotating 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So the square-headed arrow alternates between pointing at the white section and the white section of the block. See? This way, and then if it is this way, top, we know that will go this way now. So we need the shape this way. So cancel the other ones. And then you can see what's happening next. And the arrow is in the middle, remember? And the arrow will also shift because when it rotates, the arrow will also, if arrow is here, but we are also looking at this shape. If you guys try to do this way. If you want to do this way, you can do it. The best way, I would say that because they are rotating, this shape rotates. If you go the other side, you know what it will be. So it'll be C for number 5. So what's happening in number 6? In each series, a square, the shapes left and position to the right switch colors between black and white. So can you see it? It just, this became here, this becomes white, and this becomes white. Look at this here. The middle one is white. Can you see it? The down one, the middle one is shaded. So you need a shape in which the middle one is white and the down one is black. So cancel the one which don't have this. And then we need the same shapes. What's happening? So look at the shapes here and see which is the same shape. You'll come to know it's B. Next one in number 7. In each series square, the number of sides of the last shape decreases by 1 and number of sides of the similar shape increases by 1. So it's decreasing and increasing. So what do you think the answer could be for this one? It's A. Number 8 now. The top right small shape becomes the new shape in the next. Whatever small shape you have, look at this one here, it becomes the big shape here. It's a small shape here on the top one, becomes a big shape here. So whatever is in the top one, that will be your bigger shape. This shape here, whatever your this is will be for the next one. This shape here would be for your next one. So we need a shape which has a heart in it. So the ones which are without the heart, cancel them. And then what are we looking at? We're looking at the arrows and another new shape. That's D then. Definitely, yeah, it's D. Number 9 now. In number 9, which each series square, the gray shading moves position clockwise. So it's moving clockwise in this one. When you have something clockwise, you have to be really careful to see how clockwise goes, yeah? So that's why the answer for this one would be A. Number 10 now. In number 10, what's happening? In number 10, whatever the small shape is here, again the same thing is becoming on the big shape. Small shape becoming the big shape. And look at the arrows. The arrows are also increasing according to the sides of the shape. If they have 4, arrows will be 4. Outside shape. Arrows are according to the outside shape. So what do you think the answer for this one could be? It's B. We have only 2 more left now. 11 and 12. In 11, the shapes alternates between moving 90 degrees clockwise and 90 degrees anti-clockwise around the corners of the series of squares. So they are moving clockwise and anti-clockwise again. So that's why the answer for this one is a C. And the last one is 12. In each series square, the pentagon fills with white by 1/5 of its area and moves clockwise to the next corner of the series square. So it's moving 1/5 again to the next one. Or I would say that if you look at that, the way it's moving, it's also shading is shading. It's full shaded, half shaded. This goes up, this goes down. So the answer for this one is E. I think we are done with the paper now. I hope all of you like the paper. In non-verbal, you have to look at the shapes really carefully when you're doing them. And also remember that you have to be really careful. What are you looking at? You have to be really, really careful. Now we are done with it. And I hope you all like doing this paper with us and you understood how to do it. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And if this video was useful to you, please don't forget to give a thumbs up or like the video, because as you guys are on YouTube today. And I'll try to do a paper with you all again, a non-verbal paper in which all of you can do it with me. So thanks for joining me live, and I'll join you guys with another new video, with another new education video for you guys. Thanks for now, and that's all for today.